What's good, Moto fam? JD here with Supercross.com, and tonight we have with us Dave from the Collective Experience.
What's up?
We have one of the, I guess you could say, one of the most well-rounded riders at this point. If nothing else, his name is so expensive. Like, this is a top-shelf name. I won't tell you all the middle names he's got, but this man, he's got royalty floating around in this Dave. We got Mr. Cade Clason, and you'll see his handle is right here. Make sure you give him a follow. Cool dude, and we're excited to have him tonight. How you doing, fellas?
Oh, yeah, I'm good, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm excited.
Yeah, doing great, man. Really excited to talk to Cade, but good buddy of mine, and try to dig into some A2 after race talking, man. It should be good.
Good. Well, so before we get to the A2, Cade, bring us up to speed on kind of pre-2020 round, and then take us into A1 and then St. Louis. Like, for those who aren't familiar with you, I definitely want to make sure we give you a good intro because you got a good story going on. You're definitely easy to talk to. So just kind of bring us up to speed, man. Tell us what's been going on.
Yeah, so, obviously everyone kind of knows that I'm just getting back into Supercross after being gone for 2 seasons. I signed with the PRMX Kawasaki team in the fall, and I ended up doing the 3 Canadian Supercross rounds that they had up there. So, and I did really well at those. I got a 5th, a 3rd, and a 4th. So I did pretty well at those. I was really happy with that.
Yep.
And then after that, I did some training back home in Arizona. Went over and did a Supercross in Finland, which was super fun. I met so many cool people over there, and it was some good practice. And then after that, I came back home and did some training in Oklahoma with Greg Albertson at Game Moto. That was a huge help. We made so much progress while I was there, and I didn't really realize how much I was missing until I got there. And then after that, I came to California, and I've been here pretty much ever since Christmas. My wife and I came here right after Christmas, and I've been staying here living with A-Ray. as fun as that sounds.
God bless you.
But,
The face,
yeah, right.
The face.
The face.
Mr. Handsome over there.
Yeah. And yeah, I've just been here working. I know it doesn't always show with my results because at A1, everyone kind of knows it didn't really go as well as I wanted to. I didn't ride like myself at all. And sometimes that's just how it goes. It's tough getting back into it. And then at St. Louis, it was a good step in the right direction. Some crash in my heat race kind of held me back. But I rode a lot better that day. So it was a big step in the right direction. And then at A2, I was starting to ride so much better. And I had a small practice crash, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. But I jammed my thumb on my bike somehow when I was falling over, and I ended up breaking the tip of my thumb. And it was pretty bad.
Buzz Lightyear. Show us the Buzz.
My Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, it's I got my little splint. We're gonna paint it green this weekend and put some eyeballs on my nail. It's gonna be, So so the plan is to race this weekend. So I'm gonna try and tough it out with a broken thumb. But besides that, A2 could have gone better for me. But I'm really excited to just be back racing and to be around a good group of people because I actually really like my team and my mechanic, and just the people that I'm able to be surrounded with this year is it's good. I'm really happy.
Tell us more about the team. You gave us a little bit of intro there, but you got some good guys over there. You might as well name drop a little bit. Tell them about the team.
Yeah, it's a good group of riders. And then our team owner Julian Perrier, he's a good dude. He's been growing his team year after year. He's got a semi and everything this year. I got Josh Cartwright. He's riding a 450 alongside me. Logan Carnow. I've known Logan since we were on 50s. I met him at my second ever race, and it just so happens that this far down the road we're teammates. So he's in the 250 class, and Matthias Jurgensen as well. He's from Denmark, but he's a really good rider as well. So we got a good group of experienced guys, and everyone's kind of doing their own thing, but it's nice to be able to have guys who are, experienced and know what they're doing. Logan and Josh have both raced Supercross for multiple years, and I think this is Matthias' second year, but he's obviously been pro for a long time, and he's raced overseas and done a bunch of races over there. So it's a well-rounded group of riders. And then my mechanic Fred and I, we did the last round in Canada together, and then we've just done the 3 Supercrosses together so far. But it's good. We work good together. He's a French Canadian, so his English isn't fantastic, but it's the best of any of the mechanics on the team. So it's good. So the one mechanic we have, his name is Jordan. He's a great guy. He's a great mechanic. He used to work for a Superbike team, but his English isn't. He barely speaks any English. So it's he was supposed to be my guy at one point, and I was cool with it because he was such a good mechanic. But he ended up working with Matthias and everything, which is funny because he speaks good English too. But it's like you put the two guys together who don't really speak that much English, and it's just like, they make it happen.
That's funny, man.
That's hilarious.
Google Translate.
That was every time, all the time. Google Translate is an amazing app. Like,
Yes.
People at Google are geniuses because that app is phenomenal.
All right, so we've talked about building up where you were at last year. We talked about the team. We talked about A1, St. Louis, A2, and Buzz Lightyear on the end here. I also, if we can, let's touch base a little bit on, who you kind of like sponsors, the gear you're wearing, the bike that you're on. I mean, kind of bring us up to speed. Tell us, you got to be happy with the bike. You've got some time in the seat at this point, and so if there's any testing going on, any kind of new stuff, tell us about it.
Yeah, our bike's actually pretty special. There's basically parts from all over the world. Most of the guys racing Supercross, their stuff comes from right here in California mostly. But like our suspension is Öhlins, so it comes from Sweden. Our exhausts are HGS, which I can't remember if it's France or where exactly in Europe that they're from, but they're from Europe as well. Our triple clamps and our race wheels are EZE, so that's from Australia. So we have a good amount of parts from all over the world, along with the team is from Montreal, Canada, and then obviously we have parts from right here in California as well. So we have a great array of parts and sponsors that we have at our disposal basically. But yeah, our team owner Julian, he runs an online store called PRMX, and it's like an online shopping site for motor parts, like kind of like Motorsport and stuff like that.
Right.
Not quite as big, but it's for Canada, and it seems to do well for him, and he enjoys doing it, and he runs the team, and it's really good. You asked about the gear and stuff, and we're wearing the Just One. They signed that deal late in the year before Supercross started, and it's actually been really good. Everyone knows me as an FXR guy because I was with them for so long, but I'm actually really happy with the Just One stuff. I haven't had my chance to meet all the guys over there at Just One yet, but we're wearing helmet, goggles, jersey, pants, and it's been good. I can't complain about it. It fits well. It's durable. I've crashed in it plenty of times, and so I ruined a jersey this weekend getting it covered. I had an all white jersey on, and it was just full of blood after I crashed.
Dude, in St. Louis, like that was probably the first thing that when we walked up to a pit, I even told my brother, I was like, dude, that kit looks good. Like you look good in St. Louis. Like it was fire. So it definitely turned some heads. Like it wasn't just by accident. They're putting together some good stuff.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it looks cool, and they did a really good job with our logos and everything. I feel like sometimes that can make or break some gear, and they did a great job with logo placement and everything with our stuff. And I love the all white stuff. I remember when they signed it, I sent the all white stuff, and I was like, I want to wear this stuff ASAP. So I was pumped. Yeah, that stuff's cool.
Okay, well, dude, you
That's
called out a
awesome.
few names so far. Is there anybody else we're forgetting? That's kind of a good little caveat there. I want to make sure you're not leaving out any kind of sponsors, any kind of family. I don't want to get you in trouble in these little conversations. You especially your woman. Like when you're like, yeah, my wife, but I'm staying with Ray. Look, you don't want to say that. You want to say, I miss my
Oh
old
yeah.
lady, right?
Oh, I
You want to
missed
get this
it.
part right. So
Oh, I
shout
do.
outs whoever you need to.
No, my wife, she's back home. She's in the Air Force, so she's a working woman. She was able to be here for A1 and everything. She was going to come to A2, but one of her friends decided to come and surprise her at home, so she had to stay home, and that was cool for her. She got to hang out with them because her and I we just got a home in Tucson, Arizona.
Congrats, dude.
So
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
Cool.
so it's a new experience. You know, I lived in North or South Carolina, I'm sorry, for 5 years. So moving from, you know, the hot and humid of South Carolina to the dry desert of Tucson was a big change. But there's a lot about it that I actually really enjoy. So yeah, I'm not able to be there as much as I'd like.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, sometimes training for Supercross there is not ideal. So, but it's nice being able to be here and be with some of my friends too. And then, you know, this weekend it's basically my new home race in Phoenix. So it's nice. Her and a bunch of our new friends are going to come up to the race and get to enjoy it with us.
Good. Good.
Nice. Awesome.
Anybody else?
Man, I mean, my family, they're so intact with what I do. My family group chat is blowing up on the weekend. So, I mean, and you know what's even funnier? Stop since I was a little kid. She's always been there, so it's cool. Her and my grandpa are going to come to the race this weekend, and then get to come down and see our house. So it's exciting to have them around. And then I forgot to mention our two East Coast 250 riders, Lorenzo Lacrucio and Justin Thompson. I know both of them a little bit. I don't really know them that well, but you know, I've seen Justin when I was at club and stuff, and Lorenzo, obviously, I've raced him since I was an amateur. So, you know, I'm sure they're going to be a good addition once we head east.
So far, I've kind of just asked, several questions. I was going to tell Dave, um, if you got anything, I mean, I want you to jump in there, man. Like I feel that we're bringing you up to speed, in front of the page, and
So,
definitely we want everybody to follow you as the rounds go on. But
yeah.
Dave, you got anything, man? Jump
Oh,
on in
definitely.
there.
So no, just like a few comments. I actually really dig the PRMX team, Cade's team for this year. For some reason, they're a pretty big outfit, but they feel like they're a really cool, laid back, small unit, which is really great for fan exposure and engagement. And you can tell it's a really chill vibe, and the racers really dig that. And I think they really do a good job at honing a lot of these, I guess, lower tier privateers into some really serious racers and contenders. We see it in Logan Carr now. The guy has been phenomenal this year and really elevated. And I think Cade's going to be a lot of the same. It's going to take him some time to get going, but I definitely see Cade doing some pretty good, some big outbreak rides this season. Not just saying that because he's my buddy, but I got some faith in him. But Cade, I did want to find out from you. Like, everyone knows the story about the whole issue with you being out. So what type of, I guess, mental strain does it put on you when you're coming back after all of that horrific BS they put you through? Did it kind of deter you a little bit from wanting to come back to SX, and did it kind of put you behind the eight ball mentally when you were making the transition to A1, or how'd that handle for you?
Honestly, man, like I didn't even care. You know, it was like, you know what, I get to go racing again. I was so excited. You know, when it first happened, it was like I tried to make the best of it and kind of like almost make excuses of why I wasn't like bummed that I wasn't at the races.
Yeah.
But then once I started riding a supercross track again and remembering like, oh man, I miss this so much. Like this is so much fun.
Mhm.
Uh, it was awesome. And being around so many of my friends and like everyone just welcomed me back so well
Yeah.
that it was, you know, it was awesome to just be back. And I was so happy. And I, I mean, obviously I feel like I missed a step when I got back, but I feel like a lot of people just elevated their game a little bit. And, you know, I obviously was gone and, you know, I missed that step. And I feel like I almost need to take, you know, two steps at once and the catch back up. So it's I don't feel like I'm behind the 8 ball, but I'm excited to be back, and just that stuff. It bummed me out at first, but now once I got to the point where I knew I was going to be able to get back at some point, it was super reassuring that it was worth riding all the time I was out and everything, if that makes sense.
No, for sure. That's totally believable. I think Lester Racer would have been jarred a little bit more, but it's really cool to see that you were just amped to get back and amped to get back to the races, man. That's totally cool. So how are you looking at Cowie, man? I mean, I myself just grabbed a Cowie 450 not too long ago. I'm loving it. What do you think about it?
Honestly, I felt right at home at it right away. I feel like it suits a bigger guy like myself. Everyone knows I'm tall and goofy looking, so it's good. I fit it well. I've never actually ridden it with the stock suspension, so sometimes people ask me suspension tips. I'm like, man, the stuff I got is completely different from what you got. But I mean, the chassis and everything, it works really well for me. We got some different parts on there, like Recluse and our Bondi engines and everything. But man, it works well and it's fast. And I really can't. I've told this to many people. I was like, I can't complain about the bike. The bike is good. It's me that needs some work to get better at the races.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So, a lot of people are probably going to be asking, what's it like to live with A-Ray, man? Are you just in perpetual misery, or is it just how do you cope, man?
We've been friends for so long. Like, if you don't know him, it might come off weird. Yeah. But you know what? Like, when I first met him, he was such a goofball and he was a disaster. Mm. I feel like I partially brought him down to reality, but man, we just became such good friends. And then, we didn't get to hang out that much while I was suspended, because he was in California and, I was in Canada, and, we never really got to hang out. And then, just this year, he's like, hey, when you come to California, you can stay with us. And it's been fun. He's a good dude. He works hard. His lifestyle's changed a lot since, I lived with him in 2017 and 16. So,
now,
but man,
look at my nonverbal. Don't overshare right now. Like, this is going down that path, dude. Don't do it.
No, he's fun to be around. So I can't complain. He's a good dude, and I feel like he motivates me, and he doesn't want me to beat him. So I feel like I motivate him. So it's a good, him and we're rivals, man. He's T-boned me so hard in practice so many times that it don't even matter. Him and I will go at it to make sure one of us is the best.
That's awesome, man. I actually, my first day starting the program, I actually met Cade and A-Ray. I think that was Minneapolis 2017. And from the get-go, those guys had me dying laughing, waiting in line to grab my credentials. So, A-Ray's a great guy. I love working with him, having him on the program. Love having Cade in the program. And, I wish you all the best, Cade. I'm really excited to see what you end up this year. And really amped to see you make your name back in the sport.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
Okay, dude. Well, we appreciate the call and the time. We'll let you get going, but what we'll do is we'll plan on, touching base Saturday morning at some point. Maybe we can get kind of an update on how the track is, how the track walk goes, and then what you're thinking on the day, if you got some time for us.
Yeah, man, stop by anytime. I'll be there, and I'll have my family and my wife there, so my schedule should be open up a little bit, having some help.
Okay, man.
Awesome, man. Look forward to it.
Hey, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yep.